Hey guys.
Hey. So we're going to be talking about how we just bought a house at 27 for the first time. So if you are trying to be a first-time home buyer or just buy a house in general, this video is for you. We're going to give you all the tips and tricks in our experience.
So for the last 3 years we've been renting, and now we finally purchased our first home. It's a big accomplishment. It feels good. Now, for the rent that we were paying, we realized that we could have got a home. So there are people out there that rent for like 10, 15, even 20 years. Yeah, so we rented for 3 years, and we realized that what we're paying in rent, we can turn that into a mortgage and start earning and paying it off.
Okay, so where to start, right? So the first things you want to be thinking about is, where do you want to live? What area is that? What town? What state? And then once you kind of narrow down that area, because you're going to want to be able to tell your realtor, I want to stay in this county or this town. This is how far I don't want to go, south, north, west, east, whatever. So you know what area you want to live in. That's so important. And then you want to basically start looking at the price ranges that you want to be in. Because once you know the area, you need to kind of know what price range you want to be in for your house, because you need to know what the price of that house is that you want. So you need to know, okay, I want a 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom. What are those houses going for in that particular area that I want to live in, so that you're realistic with what your budget is, and then you can kind of go into the next steps. But you want to know what area you want to live in, and how much house you want. And kind of going off of how much house you want and what your budget is going to be, your price point. If you're already renting right now, you can kind of say, okay, I'm paying X, Y, and Z amount of rent right now. Can I basically get a house for that same price, or $200-300 more a month? Or you may even look out and pay less than that per month in some states and areas. So then you can kind of base your budget and how much house you can get off of that number as well.
Check your credit. Make sure your credit's somewhat good or at least decent, because without good credit, it's going to be very hard for you to get a mortgage loan. Now, if you have good credit, you have options. You can go conventional. If the credit's a little suspect, you might have to go FHA, which they'll approve you a lot quicker. But check your credit. Where you're going to check your credit, you can actually call the bureaus. You can call Experian, and you can call Equifax. Most people, what we did, we checked on Credit Karma. It's free. They checked on Credit Karma. They show you 2 credit bureaus. I don't think they have TransUnion on there, but I think they have Equifax and Experian. You can, and that kind of pretty much tells you what your credit score is, because in order to convince a bank to lend you money, they're gonna want to know if you have history of paying stuff back. So, and your credit will show that. If you have a 500 credit score or like a 550, you might want to work on that a little bit. Maybe pay off some credit cards, student loan, medical bills, whatever you got going on that's keeping you low. You might want to handle that a little bit at first, so that way you don't have to put as much money down when it comes to buying a home. So credit is important.
Yes. Okay, so now you know where you want to live. You're looking at your credit and everything. You're ready to get this process started. One of the biggest things that I learned, and also Jeff too, when you're in the process, you don't want to do anything with your credit cards. Don't go out and make all these big purchases. Don't go buy a new car or anything. You just kind of need to be chilling for however long it takes you to get the house, and then close on your loan until you sign that dotted line and you're in the house, and that's it. So you do not want to have new credit card lines opening. You just don't want to do anything with your credit cards. I literally didn't spend anything on my credit cards at all during the whole process. So you just kind of want to keep everything nice and steady and quiet. If you're paying down things, great, but don't spend on them.
Advantages of being a first-time home buyer. So if you're like us, you're buying a home for the first time, there are advantages of being a first-time home buyer. Now, first-time home buyer, you only have to put down as little as 3.5%. So you don't have to put 20% down. Now, 20% on a $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 house is a lot of money. 20% off of $400,000 is like $80,000. You don't have to put that down if you're a first-time home buyer. You only have to put down 3.5%, and that helps a lot. So now you'll have money for renovation. You'll have money for appliances, anything you want to buy. So that's a big advantage of being a first-time home buyer.
Absolutely. And they have some conventional programs out there too for first-time home buyers, so you're not stuck with that PMI and everything. If you're kind of looking to that, but we'll go into more about like the mortgage side and our experience with that, you know, in our little series. All right, so the last thing we're going to talk about just in this video is to get started, you also want to look for a good realtor. So you want to just kind of go in your area, see what realtors are out there. And then you might even have some referrals or references from family or friends. We're going to go more into like do's and don'ts, good and bads with realtors in another video. But you want to start getting yourself out there and looking for a realtor so you can actually start going to open houses or just looking at homes on the weekends whenever you can, so you can actually get started in the process. Your realtor is going to be your best friend. They're going to tell you everything that you need, you don't
Shout out
need.
to our realtor.
Yeah. They're going to take you through the whole journey and make sure you get the right house for you. So you definitely want to make sure you got a good realtor in your hands.
Alright, so with that being said, stay tuned for the next video when we
Yes.
go into more details on how to find a realtor.
Yep. So we'll see you then. Bye.